Hi, everybody. I'm Deacon Dave,
I'm Mrs. Rogers.
and welcome to the Deacon Dave and Mrs. Rogers Show.
Ugh.
Hello, everybody. We are back. You can see Lisa has this beautiful Mrs. Rogers outfit on that she is wearing, which is a hand-me-down from her sister.
Just the shirt.
Just the shirt, but the
This
sweater.
sweater is only like
is
7 years old.
7 years old, and she is rocking that shirt. So we are continuing on in chapter 2 of
Yes,
Into the Deep.
of Into the Deep.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the word sacred. So what are we saying here, Lisa?
Well, so there's sacred time.
Right?
So prayer is a sacred time. So the author recommends beginning with 10 minutes of reading and reflecting, which we went over those 5 R's last episode. And then sacred means set apart as special. And the Hebrew word is kadosh.
Kadosh. Is it
Thank
kadosh?
you.
Kadosh.
Whatever you said.
Yes.
Which is so sacred, holy, of God, or of God.
Yeah,
so
like
this
that.
is a very holy time to dedicate to God.
Right. See, there's the phonetic spelling right there. Kadosh.
I
I learned that from you. That's how I knew how to say it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So continue on, Lisa.
Oh, so it's also, we should make a sacred commitment. We should have a commitment that we make to God that we're going to set this time aside to spend with Him each day. And I think that kind of like making a commitment, or almost like a covenant, covenant with God. Like, I think maybe it helps us to be more responsible in keeping that sacred time.
Yeah, like so when I became a deacon, we made a commitment to doing the Liturgy of the Hours, both morning and evening prayer.
Yes.
And so that is actually we committed to doing that to the bishop.
A sacred commitment.
Yeah, so it was pretty serious. And you should also have like a sacred space that you go to, and we'll talk about that more in the next chapter. But
Yes.
environment has a lot to do with our ability to just really, enter into that sacred time with God.
Yes, and we should dedicate the sanctuary of our soul to God, which I think is quite beautiful.
That is really quite beautiful. So what are some words that come to mind from reading this chapter, Lisa?
The words that came to my mind were presence, sacred, scripture, sanctuary, and promise.
Yeah, so I guess the question is for everyone, where is your sacred space? Do you have a sacred space? And if you don't, you should create one. So my sacred space, I have my chair with my little table and my lamp. I've got books above my head. I have Divine Mercy picture off to the left. I can look out to the water and kind of like my Florida room. And then I have these shelves, and they have all the saints and Mary on there, and some like there's a statue of the washing of the feet. So I have all of these different saints that are there, and a couple of other icons in the room. I have like a cross that has the nails. It's made out of nails, which is really beautiful as well. So all of these things that just kind of bring to mind the presence of God. What about you, Lisa?
Well, I have a chair in my room with a little table with all my books on it, and I also like to sit outside, so both of those spaces are sacred to me. And then if you were mentoring somebody, how would you encourage someone who is having trouble creating sacred time and a sacred space for prayer?
Very good. I think the first thing I would do is go back to, you have to make it a priority.
Yeah.
It has to be the first fruits of each day that we're giving to God.
Yeah, and like schedule it.
Yes, mine's almost always in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm not wrapped up in the ways of the world yet.
Yeah.
And not that I forget about God, but my mind is freer and clearer first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing they say is like, don't use electronics.
No, do not use electronics. Leave them somewhere else. Make sure they're shut off. Great point.
But I do use electronics because that's where a lot of my prayers are.
Well, that's something you're just going to have to work on, Lisa. So let's see if you get this right. I'm Deacon Dave.
I'm layperson Lisa. Mrs.
No,
Rogers?
You're Mrs. Rogers.
I'm Mrs. Rogers.
We'll see you next time.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Now you need to change your shoes.